Hi everyone, my name's Sarah Beth, and today I just finished reading The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. This book was published in 1897 and is about 200 pages long, so it's a pretty quick read. As you can tell from this cover here, The Invisible Man actually serves as the basis for the Hollywood horror film The Invisible Man and the whole franchise from the original Universal Studios Monster Universe. You've actually probably seen a clip before of the Invisible Man unwrapping himself on film, and that is from this book. That scene is actually in here. What I will say about this book is that the science behind how he became invisible is not well constructed. It's not well thought out. Not that I can't suspend my disbelief for a book, it's just it wasn't explained in any sort of fashion. It was, but very much jumbled together. The author just kind of threw out the idea that, life gets absorbed and reflected, which is true. And he relates it back to the animal kingdom with animals that are, in a sense, invisible, such as, jellyfish or deep sea creatures. But he just kind of re-explains that it's already in the animal kingdom and goes on tangents about reflective and absorption. And he starts out strong with, things that actually have those kind of properties and how to make certain things invisible. But then it kind of gets a bit muddled, and it's only hit upon once in this novel in like a really large block of text that doesn't seem to really be cut up very much. So take that as you will. I also had a problem with the chase scenes. There was quite a few of them. And if you heard my review about the Time Machine and other stories, there's a military story called The Land of the Ironclads that has military scenes or action scenes that I said weren't well done. This kind of was a repeat of that for me. I just thought that some chase scenes I could kind of sense what was going on, but other times it was just very much, he did this, she did that, and you really could not keep track of what character was doing much. It was almost as if you were reading shaky cam. And I personally had a problem with that, and there was a lot of chase scenes in this novel, especially near the end. And so when you're trying to read the climax of the novel and you're not sure as to what's going on, it's a little problematic. I do think that the writing style is very consistent with the other works I've read by H.G. Wells, and that I really enjoyed it, and I thought that you could understand the story. And honestly, I think the first half of the book is a lot better than the second, because once again, it just kind of gets derailed by those chase scenes that last for, almost chapters long, and it's a little bit unyieldy. So I will say that I think it's interesting because you always think of when a man becomes insane, not insane, but invisible, he becomes insane. And this wasn't actually shown in that novel because you are brought through the Invisible Man from when he was visible to when he was invisible by his own words. So he's trying to give himself in the best of light, correct? And really, he was a very selfish person to begin with. He was very self-serving. He didn't really have respect for anyone else. Even when his father died, he was very much unattached and just kind of went as a form of ceremony, not because he actually cared for his father. And the reasons why he became invisible were just so that he could become published and wouldn't give anyone else any credit, and that he could steal from people or do other actions that were aided by his invisibility. So, by the time you reach the end of the novel, you can kind of guess that he was just given too much power. He was drunk on power. It wasn't kind of a, chemical reaction to him becoming invisible, or physical one for that matter. But it was another story of don't have too much power or you will abuse it, which is, once again, it's a great motif and you've heard it time and time again. And it's nice to see that it's more of a humanity issue than a science issue. And I think that you see that a lot in H.G. Wells' work, is that it's mostly about the humanity and not about the science fiction. So I think that's why it makes him the, father of science fiction, so accessible to everyone. And that's why these novels are so famous and these stories are so famous, is because it's about the humanity aspects. It's not about the science. Like I said, there's only one block of text that explains how he became invisible. Other than that, you don't really know too much about it. So I will say this, I personally liked The Island of Dr. Moreau better, mostly because there were a lot less chase scenes, and the one chase scene in that book I think was more readable. So I honestly, only if you want to read the first half of the book, I'm going to say this is not a recommendation for me. It was fun, but I would not prefer the huge chunks that I had to read with shaky cam, essentially. If you want to read something like this, I would honestly say that there was a lot of themes that kind of gave me Haruki Murakami vibes, such as the wild sheep chase or IQ-84, but I will say that IQ-84 is a little bit of a different beast just because it's so much bigger in wild sheep chases. Only 300 pages, so I would say it's still in the realm of The Invisible Man. So I would say that this is more on the lines of, magical realism more than science fiction, and that's why maybe check out Murakami. So, thank you for watching my review, and I hope you have a good day.